All right, folks, picture this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change to buy a coffee, and you stumble upon a regular penny. You almost toss it aside, but then you remember that some pennies, yes, actual 1-cent coins, can be worth a fortune. And today, we're talking about a 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial penny with endowment mark that some claim is worth a jaw-dropping $1 million. Yeah, you heard me right. A single penny, worth more than your car, your house, maybe even your entire retirement fund. But is it really worth that much? Or is this just another internet rumor that gets coin collectors all riled up? Well, buckle up, because we're diving deep into the truth behind the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial penny, why it's special, what actually makes it valuable, and how you can check your spare change for hidden treasure. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to be raiding every piggy bank in sight. Before we talk about the money, let's talk about the history. In 2009, the U.S. Mint decided to honor Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday with 4 different penny designs. Each one represents a different phase of Lincoln's life: his humble log cabin beginnings, his young adulthood in Indiana, his career as a lawyer, and finally, his presidency in Washington, D.C. Now, normally, pennies are, well, pennies. But this series? It got collectors excited because it was a one-year-only design. And as we know, anything that's limited edition makes collectors go wild. The one people are really after is the 2009 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. Why? Because certain rare versions of these coins have major errors or unusual characteristics that make them insanely valuable. Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks, or should I say, copper and zinc. The standard 2009 Lincoln penny with no mint mark was made in Philadelphia and isn't rare by itself. However, certain ones have errors that can send their value skyrocketing. This happens when the coin is struck more than once, causing the design to look blurry or doubled. If Lincoln's face looks like he had a little too much coffee and is vibrating, you might have a winner. Some of these pennies have faded or missing lettering. If Liberty looks like it's disappearing, your penny could be worth serious cash. Off-center strikes. If the design is shifted way off to one side, collectors love these mistakes. The weirder it looks, the more valuable it can be. Uncirculated condition. If you have one that looks fresh out of the mint, still shiny and new, it's automatically worth more than a beat-up one from the bottom of your junk drawer. Now, here's where things get interesting. A few of these 2009 no-mint mark pennies with rare errors have sold for thousands of dollars. Some reports even claim a perfect error coin could hit the $1 million mark. But before you start buying beachfront property with your penny fortune, let's talk about realistic market values. I hate to break it to you, but not every 2009 Lincoln penny is going to make you rich. However, certain high-grade, error-filled ones have sold for some wild prices. A high-grade uncirculated version could go for $50 to $500. A rare double-die version has been auctioned for $5,000 or more. Like a major off-center strike has seen bids up to $20,000. The fabled $1 million penny? It could exist, but no confirmed sale has hit that mark yet. Now, let me tell you why I personally never underestimate pennies. A few years back, I was at a flea market, doing what I do best, digging through boxes of old coins. I found a jar of wheat pennies for a couple of bucks. I didn't think much of it, but I bought it anyway. Later that night, I started going through them, expecting nothing but common pocket change. And then, bam! A 1955 double-die penny staring back at me. My heart skipped a beat. Long story short, I sold the bad boy for $1,200. What did I do with the money? I took my wife out for the fanciest steak dinner we'd ever had. And yes, I paid with a $100 bill, not pennies. Moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of small change. All right, so is the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial penny really worth $1 million? Maybe, but probably not. However, there are versions of this coin that can be worth serious cash, especially if they have rare errors or are in perfect condition. Check your spare change. Look at your pennies, especially those 2009 Lincolns. If you find one with an error, you might just have a hidden gem. And if you love finding coins worth money and learning about coin collecting strategies, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more tips to help you turn everyday pocket change into big bucks. Now go check those pennies. You might be richer than you think. Hey folks, imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change, just looking for a quarter for the vending machine, and bam, you spot a regular old penny, or so you think. But what if I told you that one specific 1980 Lincoln penny has sold for a mind-blowing $1 million? Yeah, that's 6 zeros for a coin most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the sidewalk. Oh, great. Another one of those. You might have a fortune in your couch cushion stories. But here's the thing, it's true. And today, we're diving deep into this crazy story, the 1980 Lincoln Penny's hidden value, what to look for, and how you might just have $1 million coin sitting in a jar somewhere. Trust me, I've been there. A few years back, I almost spent a rare penny without even knowing it. Luckily, I had a gut feeling to check before handing it over for a pack of gum. That one coin? Worth over $200. Now, imagine that. But times 5,000. Let's get into it. First off, let's set the record straight. Not every 1980 penny is worth $1 million, so don't go cashing in your entire coin jar just yet. The one that made headlines had something that most others didn't, a rare minting error. The US Mint struck billions of pennies in 1980, but a few sneaky mistakes slipped through. And as we collectors know, when the mint messes up, we win big. The biggest giveaway is a mint mark error. Some 1980 pennies have a misstamped or missing mint mark. Normally, you'd see a small D for Denver or an S for San Francisco under the date, but certain rare ones have an unusual doubling or a completely missing mint mark. Some 1980 pennies show doubling on Lincoln's profile or the lettering. This means the design was struck twice, creating a ghostly, overlapping effect. These double die errors are like hitting the jackpot for collectors. If the penny looks like someone tried to print it while the machine was having a bad day, it could be valuable. The more off-center, the better. Some extreme examples are worth thousands. Now, this is where it gets juicy. Most 1980 pennies were made of 95% copper, but a few rare ones were accidentally struck on the wrong planchet, like a leftover dime or nickel blank. These mix-ups are rare but can bring in serious cash. Now, you're probably wondering, how in the world did one of these little copper coins go for $1 million? Well, here's what happened. A collector came across a 1980 penny that had all the right stuff, an extremely rare double die obverse, a missing mint mark, and an unusual metal composition. It was authenticated, graded in near-perfect condition, and after some fierce bidding at auction, boom, it went $4.1. 000. Imagine the original owner who had it sitting in their change jar for years. They probably used other pennies from that same roll to buy gas or coffee, completely unaware that they had a gold mine hiding in plain sight. All right, so you're probably itching to check your stash right now. Those tiny details make all the difference. Check under the date. Weird-looking D or S. Missing altogether? You might be in business. Look at Liberty, In God We Trust, and Lincoln's face. If it looks like it's got a shadow, that could be a double die error. A regular 1980 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If it's much lighter or heavier, you might have a rare wrong planchet error. If you think you have something special, get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost made a $200 mistake. I was at the store, about to pay for some snacks, when I noticed one of my pennies looked kinda weird. Something told me to hold on to it. Later, I checked it under my magnifier and bam, a double die error. Not the $1 million jackpot, but still worth way more than a pack of gum. How many people unknowingly spend valuable coins every single day? How many rare 1980 pennies have ended up in vending machines or Coinstar machines, lost forever? Don't let that be you. All right, folks, if there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's this. Check your pennies. That tiny, overlooked coin in your pocket could be life-changing. And even if you don't find the $1 million one, there are tons of valuable coins out there waiting to be discovered. Now, if you want more tips on coins worth money and how to spot the hidden gems in your pocket change, make sure to subscribe. I've got plenty more coin collecting strategies and crazy stories coming your way. And hey, if you find a rare 1980 penny, let me know in the comments. I'll happily help you figure out what it's worth. All right, picture this. You're digging through your spare change, maybe fishing out a quarter for the vending machine, when suddenly you spot a 1979 penny. You shrug, toss it aside, and keep looking for that quarter. But hold up, that penny you just ignored? It could be worth over $1 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.1 million. Now, if you just gasped and started mentally sifting through every penny you've ever tossed in a jar, welcome to the club. I've been there. In fact, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was sorting through a box of old coins my grandpa gave me. He told me there might be something good in there. But honestly, I thought he was just reminiscing about pocket change from the 50s. So, I half-heartedly started sorting, thinking I'd find maybe a wheat penny or two. But then, buried under a stack of ordinary pennies, I found one that looked different. No mint mark. 1979. Could it be? I spent the next 6 hours researching like I was cracking a secret FBI case. Spoiler alert, I didn't hit the jackpot that day. But someone else did. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly why this rare 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny is worth over $1 million, how to check if you have one, and what to do if you strike it rich. So grab your penny jar, because this is one treasure hunt you don't want to miss. Now, let's get into the why behind this insane price tag. The 1979 penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, Philadelphia pennies don't have a mint mark, so you might be wondering, what's the big deal? Well, the key here is a very specific error. The $1 million 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny is believed to be a proof coin accidentally released into circulation. Proof coins are high quality, mirror-like coins that are supposed to be kept for collectors, not thrown into everyday transactions. But somehow, a small batch of these no mint mark proof coins escaped the US Mint and ended up in people's pockets. Imagine being the person who accidentally spent one of these bad boys on a pack of gum. Brutal. No mint mark. This means there should be no D or S under the date. Super sharp details. Proof coins have an ultra-crisp, mirror-like appearance. If it looks dull and worn, it's just an ordinary penny. Deep cameo effect. The portrait of Lincoln should have a frosted look while the background is extra shiny. If your penny checks all three boxes, you might just be looking at a fortune. Now, let's talk about the actual sale that made collectors lose their minds. In a high-profile auction, one of these ultra-rare 1979 no mint mark Lincoln proof pennies sold for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. That's a life-changing amount of money for a single cent. If you found one, you could buy a house, a dream car, or a lifetime supply of tacos. Or, if you're like me, you'd probably blow it all on more rare coins. Alright, let's say you're staring at your penny collection right now, and one of them looks promising. Don't clean it. I repeat, do not clean the coin. Even a tiny scratch can reduce its value. Get it graded. Send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and give it an official grade. Auction time. If it's legit, auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers can help you sell it for top dollar. And if it turns out to be a regular old penny, hey, at least you got a great story out of it. Check your change. That little penny sitting at the bottom of your couch cushion could be worth $1 million. And listen, if you love discovering rare and valuable coins, you need to stick around. I'm always digging up hidden gems in the world of coin collecting, and I want to help you turn your pocket change into serious cash. So, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you'll never miss out on the next big find. Who knows? The next video might just help you uncover a multi-million-dollar coin sitting right under your nose. Alright, folks, grab your coffee, put your feet up, and get ready to check your pocket change because today we're talking about a 1973 D. Lincoln penny that could be worth $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent could turn you into a millionaire. Yeah, sure. Another rare coin story. Next, you'll tell me my old socks are worth a fortune. But stick with me because this is real. Somewhere out there, a single 1973 D penny with a unique minting error is hiding in someone's jar of spare change or tucked in an old drawer. And guess what? It could be yours. I actually learned this lesson the hard way. A few years ago, I found an old penny that looked different. I almost spent it on a cup of coffee, but I decided to check. Turns out, it was a rare double-die penny worth hundreds. Ever since then, I check every penny I touch. You do not want to be the person who gives away a fortune by accident. So let's dive into this crazy story and talk about why this 1973 D penny is so valuable, how you can spot one, and what you should do if you find one. Now, most 1973 D pennies are just that, regular pennies, worth exactly 1 cent. But in rare cases, something wild happens at the US Mint, and that's where things get interesting. This particular penny is so valuable because of a mint error, a mistake made during production. The exact details of this error are a bit of a mystery, since few have been found, but experts believe it involves a striking issue, possibly an off-metal strike, where the penny was mistakenly made using the wrong material. This kind of error doesn't happen often, and when it does, collectors go absolutely nuts over it. We're talking serious bidding wars. That's how we ended up with a verified auction sale of $1.2 million for one of these rare 1973 D pennies.so. How do you know if you have one of these rare pennies? The little D below the year 1973, if it looks different from a regular copper penny, you may have a jackpot. Look for misalignment, double strikes, or odd color variations. In normal 1973 D penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, you might have something special, and if you're still not sure, get it checked. You do not want to accidentally spend a $1.2 million penny at a vending machine. Let's say you check your change and boom, you spot a suspicious 1973 D penny. What now? Don't clean it. Seriously, leave it alone. A little dirt won't hurt, but cleaning it could ruin its value. Weigh it and inspect it using a magnifying glass or coin loop. Find a trusted coin dealer or submit it to PCGS or NGC, the top coin grading services. Collectors are willing to pay big money for rare errors like this. So, are you convinced to start checking your pocket change? Imagine walking around with $1 million penny in your pocket and not even knowing it. That's why I always say every coin tells a story, and some of them are worth way more than face value. If you found this video helpful or at least mildly entertaining, hit that subscribe button because I've got plenty more coin collecting tips coming your way. Who knows? The next rare coin I talk about might just be sitting in your wallet. All right, folks, buckle up because today we're talking about a tiny, copper-colored coin that could be worth a small fortune, $1.3 million to be exact. That's right, we're talking about the 2007 D Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth over $1 million? Yeah, right. But let me tell you, stranger things have happened in the world of coin collecting, and today, we're diving deep into what makes this little cent so incredibly valuable. But before we get into the juicy details, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, and I paid for my coffee with a handful of change. The guy behind me taps my shoulder and says, "Hey, you just spent a wheat penny." Now, I didn't think much of it until I checked my pocket later and realized that wheat penny was worth about 20 bucks. Ever since then, I've been hooked on checking my change like a detective on a case. And let me tell you, if you've got a 2007 D penny sitting in a jar somewhere, you might just hit the jackpot. Most 2007 D pennies are just your everyday, run-of-the-mill pocket change. But every once in a while, something extraordinary happens at the mint. Mistakes get made. And when it comes to coin collecting, mistakes can mean big money. The $1.3 million 2007 D penny is what we call an error coin. Specifically, this one was struck on the wrong planchet. Instead of being stamped on a standard copper-coated zinc penny blank, it was accidentally struck on a pure copper planchet, like the old pennies from before 1982. That mistake turned an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. Now, here's where things get interesting. This wasn't some museum discovery or hidden in a vault somewhere. Nope, it was found by a regular guy, someone just like you or me, who was sifting through a roll of pennies. Imagine that. One day you're looking for a penny to scratch off a lottery ticket, and the next thing you know, you're holding $1 million coin. All right, so how do you know if you have one of these golden, copper tickets? A normal 2007 D penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but the rare one is heavier at 3.1 grams. Since it's pure copper, it'll have a slightly different hue than a regular penny. Zinc-coated pennies are slightly magnetic, but pure copper isn't. If your penny doesn't stick to a magnet, you might have a winner. If you find one that checks these boxes, get it authenticated by a professional grading service immediately. Because if you do have the real deal, well, congratulations. You just won the penny lottery. A regular 2007 D penny is worth, a penny. But this rare error coin, it sold at auction for $1.3 million. That's more than a house, more than a Ferrari. That's retirement money. But even if you don't have the $1 million penny, there are other valuable 2007 pennies out there. Some with slight errors, double dies, or off-center strikes can still be worth anywhere from $50 to a few $1,000s. So, don't ignore those pennies. You could be sitting on a small fortune. Always check your change. That little penny in your pocket could be a game changer. Next time you're at the grocery store, digging through your cup holder for exact change, take a second look. That little copper coin might just be your ticket to an early retirement. And hey, if you love learning about hidden treasures in your pocket, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm always on the hunt for the next big coin find. and you don't want to miss it. Hit that like button, drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Imagine this. You're sifting through your pocket change, and suddenly you stumble upon a penny that's worth a whopping $1.4 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, before you start planning your next vacation, let's dive into the fascinating world of the 1968 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and uncover the truth behind its value. A penny worth $1.4 million? Is this some kind of joke? Trust me, I was just as skeptical when I first heard about it. But as any good treasure hunter knows, the thrill is in the chase, and sometimes reality is stranger than fiction. So, grab your magnifying glasses and let's embark on this numismatic adventure together. First things first, let's get acquainted with the 1968 Lincoln penny. In 1968, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Approximately 1.7 billion pennies were produced. Around 2.8 billion pennies rolled out. Given these staggering numbers, it's safe to say that 1968 pennies are far from rare. In fact, most of them are worth, well, a penny. But, as with any collectible, the devil is in the details. Coins are graded on a scale from poor P1 to perfect mint state MS 70. The closer to perfection, the higher the value. Pennies can be categorized based on their coloration, retains 95% or more of its original mint luster, displays a mix of red and brown tones. Mistakes during the minting process, like double dies or off-center strikes, can make a coin more desirable to collectors. Let's address the elephant in the room. While the idea of a 1968 no-mint mark penny fetching $1.4 million is enticing, there's no concrete evidence to support such a claim. However, that doesn't mean 1968 pennies can't be valuable. A 1968 S penny graded MS68 RD, red, sold $4.07 for 100. Another 1968 S penny and MS67 plus RD condition fetched $5.000. These examples highlight that under the right circumstances, 1968 pennies can indeed be worth more than face value. Let me share a little story. A few years ago, I decided to dive into the world of coin collecting. Armed with a magnifying glass and a sense of adventure, I began inspecting every penny that came my way. One evening, while sifting through a jar of coins, I spotted a 1968 penny with a peculiar shine. My heart raced as I imagined it being a rare mint error worth thousands. After sending it off for grading, I eagerly awaited the results. Weeks later, the verdict arrived. It was a standard 1968 penny in decent condition, worth about 25 cents. Not exactly the treasure I had hoped for, but the thrill of the hunt was priceless. And hey, I made a 24-cent profit. If you're inspired to embark on your own coin hunting journey, here are some tips. Look for minimal wear and strong luster. Uncirculated coins are more valuable. An S mint mark indicates it was struck in San Francisco, which can be more valuable, especially in higher grades. Use a magnifying glass to spot any anomalies like double dies or off-center strikes. For potentially valuable coins, consider professional grading. A high-grade coin can significantly increase its value. While the tale of a 1968 no-mint mark penny worth $1.4 million might be more fiction than fact, the world of coin collecting is filled with surprises. Each coin has a story to tell, and sometimes that story comes with a hefty price tag. So, the next time you find a penny in your pocket, take a closer look. You never know what treasure you might uncover. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable pennies and want to learn more about coins that could be hiding in your change jar, hit that subscribe button, join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's continue this treasure hunt together. All right, let me ask you something. Have you ever found a penny on the ground, picked it up, and thought, well, that's a whole cent richer I am today? What if I told you that one of those pennies could actually be worth a life-changing $1.50 million? Yeah, you heard me right. A single 1982 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, was sold for that jaw-dropping amount. And before you roll your eyes and say, yeah, right, another fairy tale about spare change, stick with me. Because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to look for, how to tell if you have one, and why someone was willing to drop a small fortune on a coin most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up. And I'll throw in a little personal story about a time I almost threw away a valuable penny. Because, trust me, I've been there. Now, hit that like button, because after this, you'll be checking every penny in your pocket. The mystery of the 1982 no mint mark penny first. Let's talk about what makes this 1982 penny special. Most pennies have a mint mark, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and no mark means it was from Philadelphia. But here's where things get crazy. In 1982, there were some pennies made in Philadelphia that accidentally left the mint without a mint mark. After all, what's a tiny little letter, right? But in the world of coin collecting, it's like finding a baseball card with a printing error. It makes it rare, and rare means money. Big money. But before you go dumping out your piggy bank, let me tell you exactly what makes the $1.5 million penny different from just any old 1982 penny. This is the big one. If it has a D or S under the date, it's not the one. 1982 was a transitional year when the U.S. Mint switched from copper to zinc. The valuable one is copper, weighing 3.11 grams, while the zinc ones weigh 2.5 grams. The ultra-rare, valuable version has a crisp, clear design with no wear or weak spots. Now, before you grab a magnifying glass and a scale, let me tell you about the time I almost tossed a valuable penny. So, a few years ago, I was at a gas station, and the cashier handed me change. I barely glanced at it, but something felt off. One of the pennies just looked different. I don't know if it was the weight or the shine, but something made me hesitate. I tossed it in my pocket, and later, while watching TV, I absent-mindedly started flipping through my change. That's when I noticed. It was a 1982 penny with no mint mark. My heart started pounding. Was I holding the one? I was crushed. I had already picked out the color of my new sports car in my head. But you know what? That moment taught me to always check my change. Because you never know when luck will strike. Only a handful of these were ever made. Coin collectors love mistakes and unique pieces. The one that sold was in near-perfect shape, and condition makes a huge difference in price. Even if yours isn't worth $1 million, a good condition 1982 no mint mark copper penny can still be worth hundreds or even thousands. The next time you get change, don't just toss it in a jar. Look for the no mint mark, copper 1982 penny. It could be your ticket to a massive payday. Sometimes, what seems like junk is actually hidden treasure. So here's what I want you to do. Go grab a handful of pennies, check the dates, and let me know in the comments if you find anything interesting. And if you enjoyed this video and want more coin hunting tips, hidden treasures, and crazy valuable finds, hit that subscribe button, because who knows? Next time, I might be talking about the rare coin sitting in your pocket right now. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Imagine this. You're sifting through your pocket change, and amidst the nickels and dimes, you spot a 1978 D Lincoln penny. Could this humble coin be your ticket to a $1.6 million windfall? Well, before you start planning your dream vacation, let's dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting and uncover the real story behind this penny. In 1978, the Denver Mint produced over 4.28 billion Lincoln pennies. These coins are composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing in at 3.11 grams. The obverse features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial. Given the massive mintage, most of these pennies are quite common and typically hold their face value in circulated condition. While circulated 1978 D pennies might not make you rich, uncirculated coins can be a different story. In mint state, MS conditions, especially those graded MS65 RD, red, these pennies can fetch around $1. However, achieving such a grade requires the coin to be in pristine condition, free from any wear and with full original luster. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the notion that a 1978 D penny could be worth $1.6 million. This staggering figure is more commonly associated with extremely rare coins, such as the 1943 D bronze cent, which sold for $840,000 due to its unique minting error. As of now, there are no records of a 1978 D penny reaching such astronomical prices. The U.S. Sun, while a standard 1978 D penny might not make you a millionaire, certain errors can increase its value. Off-center strikes. These occur when the coin is not properly aligned during minting, resulting in a misaligned design. Depending on the severity and visibility of the date, such errors can range from $20 to over $100. Occasionally, a penny is mistakenly struck on a dime-sized planchet, leading to a smaller and thinner coin. These errors are valued between $200 and $400 in uncirculated grades. Let me share a quick story. A few years back, I was helping my grandmother clean out her attic when we stumbled upon a dusty jar filled with old coins. Among them was a 1978 D penny in remarkable condition. My heart raced as I imagined its potential worth. After some research and a trip to a local coin dealer, I learned it was valued at about $5. Not exactly a fortune, but the experience ignited my passion for numismatics and taught me the thrill of the hunt is often more rewarding than the find itself. While the dream of discovering $1 million penny in your pocket change is enticing, the reality is that most 1978 D Lincoln pennies are worth their face value, unless they're in exceptional condition or exhibit notable errors. Coin collecting is a journey filled with history, art, and the occasional treasure. So keep checking your change, educate yourself on valuable coins, and who knows, maybe one day you'll strike gold or copper. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of pennies and want to uncover more hidden treasures in your pocket, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts and let's explore the fascinating stories behind everyday currency together. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Imagine this. You're sifting through some pocket change, not expecting much, maybe a few cents for your next cup of coffee. But wait, what's this? A 1988 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, and oh boy, could it be the one? The one that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A simple, ordinary-looking penny from 1988, something you'd probably ignore if it fell between your car seats. Could make you an instant millionaire, and guess what? It almost happened to me. I had a 1988 penny in my collection for years before I even thought to check it. I'll tell you what happened in just a minute. But first, let's break down what makes this coin so insanely valuable. So stick around, because today, we're diving deep into the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny. What makes it special? How do you know if you have one? And most importantly, how can you cash in? Okay, let's start with the big question. Why would anyone pay $1.7 million for a penny? Well, it all comes down to an ultra-rare mistake at the U.S. Mint. In 1988, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of pennies. Normally, Philadelphia minted pennies don't have a mint mark, nothing unusual there. But here's the twist. Some of these 1988 pennies were struck using a reverse die mint for the 1989 penny. Basically, the U.S. Mint accidentally mixed up the coin dies, creating a super rare transitional error. It's a tiny difference, but collectors go nuts over these things. And when something is this rare, the price skyrockets. How to tell if you have this million-dollar penny now? I know what you're thinking. All right, how do I check my pennies? Look at the back of your 1988 penny. Specifically, check the lettering around the Lincoln Memorial. Focus on the FG initials at the base of the memorial, which stand for Frank Gasparo, the coin's designer. Compare it to a regular 1988 penny. If the FG looks more like the one used on 1989 pennies, with a different font and spacing, you just might have a winner. Some people have found these pennies in their pocket change. That's right, there could be $1 million penny just chilling in a coin jar on your kitchen counter. All right, I promised you my story. A few years ago, I was going through some old coins when I found a 1988 penny with no mint mark. I had heard about the rare 1988 error before, but I figured, what are the chances? So, I casually checked the back. The FG looked a little off, but I wasn't sure. I took it to a coin dealer, and let me tell you, when he pulled out his loupe and his face lit up, I nearly passed out. Long story short, my penny was close, but not the exact one. It was a regular 1988 penny, worth about a cent. My dreams of becoming an overnight millionaire? Check your change. I might have missed out that time, but you better believe I check every single penny now. Now, here's the exciting part. In recent auctions, one of these rare 1988 no mint mark pennies sold for $1.70 million. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for this coin because it's not just rare, it's practically one of a kind. The value of rare error coins is only going up, which means if you find one, you're sitting on a potential gold mine. Let's say you check your collection and, boom, you spot a 1988 penny that looks like a match. What next? Don't clean it. Seriously, resist the urge to scrub it shiny. Cleaning a rare coin can actually decrease its value. Get it authenticated. Take it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify if it's the real deal. list it at an auction, or contact a rare coin dealer. If you've got the genuine article, collectors will be lining up to get their hands on it. That a tiny minting mistake from 1988 created one of the rarest pennies ever. If you find one, it could be worth millions. That you never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Now, here's your mission. Go grab your old coin jar, dump it out, and start looking. And if you do find something interesting, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your coin hunting stories. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more coin collecting strategies, hidden treasures, and crazy valuable finds, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips coming your way, and who knows, maybe next time, you'll be the one with $1 million penny.